All right, welcome back, everyone. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into the world of SMS scams. You know, those sneaky little text messages that try to trick you into giving up your personal information.
Yeah, they're definitely becoming more and more common these days.
We got a ton of fascinating material to go through today. We've got expert analysis from cybersecurity folks, stories from people who have actually fallen victim to these scams.
Oh, wow.
And even some insights from a reform scammer who's spilling the beans on how these operations actually work.
Sounds like we're going to learn a lot.
By the end of this, you'll be able to spot an SMS scam a mile away. Trust me.
I'm all ears.
So to kick things off, I'm really curious about how these scams have changed over time. Like I remember those old "you've won $1 million" texts from way back when. Are they still a thing?
Well, those definitely still exist, but the scammers have upped their game significantly. It's not just about bad grammar and obvious tricks anymore. They've gotten much more sophisticated.
So what are we dealing with now? Like what's a good example of this more advanced approach?
Well, one example that really stood out to me was this investigation that MyCode did in France. They uncovered a scam that was using a device called an IMSI Catcher, basically a fake cell tower.
A fake cell tower?
Yeah, these things can intercept data from thousands of phones in the area. They're literally stealing information right out of the air.
That's terrifying. So they're not even bothering with phishing websites anymore. They're just grabbing our data straight from the source.
In some cases, yeah. It really shows you how much effort and technical skill goes into these operations.
So let's break down a typical SMS scam. I'm thinking about the unpaid shipping fee scam that the PC Security Channel exposed. How does that one usually play out?
That's a classic. It all starts with a text message, something that seems harmless enough. Maybe it says there's a problem with a package delivery or you've missed a delivery, something like that.
Right, something that would make you want to click on a link to get more information.
Exactly. And that link takes you to a website that's designed to look exactly like a legitimate delivery service like FedEx or Amazon.
So you think you're just updating your delivery details or something?
Exactly. And at first, the website asks for some basic information like your address or email address. But then gradually they start asking for more sensitive stuff like your date of birth or phone number.
And then comes the final sting.
Yep, they hit you with a request for a small fee. Maybe to reschedule the delivery or to cover some made-up import tax. And that's how they get your credit card information.
That's so clever. They build up this whole scenario that seems totally plausible, and then they snag your details with that tiny payment.
And people fall for it, especially when they're checking their phones on the go and not paying close attention.
It's scary how they prey on our busy lives and our tendency to just skim over details.
Absolutely. They're masters of manipulation.
Okay, so we've talked about the tech side of things, but you mentioned something earlier that really caught my attention. The hallo-tus. What exactly is that?
That's where the human element comes into play. The hallo-tus is the person who actually calls the victims, pretending to be a bank security officer or some other authority figure. MyCode has some chilling audio recordings of these calls. It's really eye-opening.
Wow, so there's actual social engineering going on here, not just tech tricks.
Absolutely, and they're good at it. They use psychological manipulation, well-rehearsed scripts. They know how to gain people's trust and make them panic.
So they might say things like, "We've detected suspicious activity on your account," or "You need to act now to prevent further losses," that sort of thing.
Exactly. They often target vulnerable individuals using empathy and a sense of urgency to make people act without thinking.
That combination of technical skill and social engineering is a dangerous cocktail.
It really is. That's why awareness is so important. We need to understand both the technical and the psychological tactics that these scammers are using.
Okay, so let's talk about another technical tactic that they're using. Those notification systems from platforms like Google Drive, PayPal, even YouTube. These things seem harmless enough, but how are they being exploited?
That's another clever trick. They're using systems that are designed for legitimate communication to bypass spam filters and gain a sense of legitimacy.
So you might let your guard down when you see a notification from a trusted platform, even if you're usually good at spotting phishing emails.
Exactly. And they often try to create a sense of urgency or confusion so you don't stop to think critically about what you're seeing.
Like Theo Joe, he got this fake Shopify order notification that was timed perfectly with a scam email he received. It really threw him off.
And that's exactly what they want. They want you to act impulsively, without thinking.
And the scary thing is, even emails from legitimate domains can be compromised, right? Like Ryan John was saying, we can't even rely on checking the sender's address anymore.
That's right. We have to really scrutinize the content itself, look for those telltale signs of a scam.
Okay, we've covered some pretty sophisticated tactics already, but I think it's time to address the elephant in the room. AI.
Oh yeah, that's a game changer for sure. AI is making it so much easier for these scammers to create convincing emails, websites, even personalized messages that are tailored to your specific interests.
Like that fake sponsorship email that Theo Joe got from NVIDIA. It was so well written he almost fell for it.
It's pretty mind-blowing, isn't it? And the scary thing is, as AI technology keeps advancing, it's only going to get harder and harder to tell the difference between what's real and what's fake.
So it's like they're using our reliance on technology against us. We trust these platforms, we trust these notifications, and now they're using AI to create content that seems completely legitimate.
Exactly. It's a whole new level of deception.
This has been a really eye-opening look at the world of SMS scams, and it's pretty unsettling to see how sophisticated they become.
I know, it can be overwhelming. But the good news is, there are things we can do to protect ourselves. We'll get to that after a quick break. It's a lot to take in, I know. But don't worry, we're not going to leave you hanging. We're going to talk about how to protect yourself from these scams.
Okay, good, because I was starting to get a little freaked out.
I get it, but the good news is you don't have to be a cybersecurity expert to stay safe. Awareness is really your best defense.
That's reassuring. So where do we start? What are the most effective things we can do to avoid falling for these traps?
Well, it might seem obvious, but one of the most important things is to never click on links in unexpected text messages. PC Security Channel and Boyd Cluess both really emphasize this, that one click could be all it takes for a scammer to get into your phone or steal your info.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the moment, especially if the text seems urgent.
Yeah.
But you're saying it's always safer to just go directly to the official website or app instead of clicking that link.
Exactly. If there's a real issue, you'll be able to find information and take action through the proper channels. It's just not worth the risk.
Okay, that makes sense. It's like if you got a letter saying you won the lottery, you wouldn't just call the number on the letter. You'd go to the official lottery website to check, right?
Exactly. And while we're talking about security basics, strong passwords and two-factor authentication are an absolute must. Have you got those set up?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I try to use strong passwords.
Yeah.
But what's two-factor authentication again?
So two-factor authentication means that you need to enter a code from your phone or email in addition to your password whenever you log in. It makes it a lot harder for scammers to get into your accounts, even if they somehow manage to steal your password.
Ah, right. So it's like an extra layer of protection.
Precisely. It's a little bit of extra effort, but it's so worth it for the peace of mind.
Okay, good to know. And speaking of extra protection, I recently learned about some of the built-in security features that some browsers have now. Like Chrome has enhanced protection, and Microsoft Edge has Scareware Blocker. Have you heard of those?
Oh yeah, those are fantastic tools. They're designed to identify and block suspicious websites and downloads, basically acting as a safety net while you browse.
It's like having an extra set of eyes looking out for you.
Exactly. And the best part is they're constantly being updated to stay ahead of the latest threats. So just make sure you have them turned on in your browser settings.
Okay, will do. So we've talked a lot about prevention. But what happens if, despite our best efforts, we think we might have fallen for a scam? What should we do?
Well, first of all, don't panic. It happens to the best of us. The most important thing is to act quickly. If you clicked on a suspicious link or gave away any personal information, contact your bank and credit card companies immediately. They can help you monitor your accounts for any strange activity or even issue new cards if necessary.
So the damage is done, we need to move fast to contain it.
Exactly. The sooner you report the incident and take action, the better your chances of minimizing any potential losses. And of course, change your passwords immediately for any affected accounts.
And if we use the same password for multiple accounts, which, let's be honest, a lot of us do, it's probably best to change those too, right?
Absolutely. It can be a pain to update all your passwords, but it's really essential to have unique passwords for each of your important accounts. And a password manager can be super helpful for keeping track of everything.
It's like changing the locks on your house after someone tries to break in. You want to make sure your digital home is secure.
Exactly. And another crucial step if you've actually lost money to a scam is to report it to the authorities, even if it's a small amount.
Really? Even if it's not a lot of money?
Yes, even then. Your report might not get your money back, but it can help law enforcement track down these scammers and potentially prevent others from becoming victims.
Right. It's like reporting a crime in the real world. Even if they don't catch the criminal right away, the information helps build a case and protect the community.
Exactly. And by reporting these scams, we're all doing our part to fight back against these criminals.
So what I'm hearing is awareness, vigilance, and quick action. Those are the keys to staying safe in this wild west of SMS scams.
You got it. And don't forget to share this information with your friends and family, especially older relatives who might be more vulnerable to these tactics.
That's like a neighborhood watch. But for the digital world, we all need to be looking out for each other.
I love that analogy. By spreading awareness, we can create a safer online environment for everyone.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot of scary stuff.
Mm.
But I don't want people to feel overwhelmed or paranoid. What's the most important message you want listeners to take away from this?
I think the most important takeaway is that knowledge is power. The more we understand about these scams, how they work, and the tactics scammers use, the better equipped we are to protect ourselves and the people we care about.
So it's not about living in fear.
Mm.
It's about being informed and empowered.
Exactly. We can't just bury our heads in the sand and hope that these scams will go away. We need to be proactive and take steps to protect ourselves.
Wow, we've covered so much ground in this deep dive.
Mm.
It's amazing. It's incredible how much these scams have evolved just in the past few years.
Yeah, they're definitely becoming more and more sophisticated and harder to spot.
As we wrap things up here, is there one key takeaway that you want to leave our listeners with? What's the most important thing for people to remember?
I think it really comes down to this. Knowledge is power. The more you understand about these scams, the tactics they use, how they work, the better equipped you'll be to protect yourself.
It's like learning the rules of the game so you can stay ahead of the scammers.
Exactly. You don't have to be a tech whiz or a security expert. Just being aware of the risks and knowing what to look for can make a huge difference.
And it's not just about protecting ourselves, right? It's also about looking out for our friends and family, especially those who might be more vulnerable to these scams.
Absolutely. We need to share this information with the people we care about and create a more informed and resilient community.
It's like a neighborhood watch, but for the digital world.
Exactly. We all need to look out for each other.
And I think it's important to remember that anyone can fall victim to these scams. It's not a sign of weakness or gullibility. These scammers are professionals, and they're very good at what they do.
That's right. Don't beat yourself up if you've been scammed in the past. The most important thing is to learn from the experience and take steps to protect yourself in the future.
So if you've been targeted, or if you've fallen for a scam, don't be afraid to talk about it. Sharing our experiences can help others avoid making the same mistakes.
Exactly. The more we talk about these scams openly and honestly, the less power they have over us.
Well said. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I hope you're leaving with a sense of empowerment, not fear.
Absolutely. These scams are a real threat, but we don't have to live in fear of them. By staying informed and vigilant, we can minimize our risk and stay safe online.
It's all about being proactive.
Right.
Taking control of our own online security.
Exactly. And remember, if something seems too good to be true, it probably is.
Words to live by. Well, it's been a fascinating, and I have to admit, a little bit scary exploration of the world of SMS scams. I want to thank you for joining us on this deep dive and for sharing your expertise.
It's been my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And all our listeners out there, stay safe, stay vigilant, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive into the digital world.